What a group. This is a big deal. And Jeff, I want to thank you very much. You do a fantastic job, and we really do. We appreciate it. Everybody in this room appreciates it. That's why I'm here, Jeff. That's why I'm here. You do a great job. Thank you. And it is wonderful to be back in Iowa, right here in the heartland of America. You know, it is the heartland of America, and I love it, and we won it by a lot. And we're going to win it again by a lot. And I've just come from being with hundreds of your state's amazing farmers, where we celebrated the lifting of restrictions on ethanol. That was never going to happen. That was never going to happen. And now not only is it happening, but it's happening in a very big way. I just promised, and you know, I went right from the beginning. I came here and I promised because it was the right thing to do. Going forward, E15 will be sold in every single day of the year. It's going to be sold 24/7. It's going to be sold, as you know, 12 months instead of 8 months or 6 months or whatever they cut you to. And you have it. So good luck with your E15. We got it done. We got it done. That's really good for the farmers. And sit down, please. I appreciate you standing so long. I should have told you to sit down earlier. I love you too. You're not my type, but that's okay. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. So now I'm thrilled to be here with all of you, the proud patriots of Iowa GOP. And Iowa is a very special place to me. Together, we're truly making America great again. It's happening every day. It's happening every single day. In fact, I have to make a decision very soon. Make America great again. Maybe one of the great slogans in the history of politics. I mean, it can't be bad, can it? Because we did something that nobody thought was even possible. And we ended up with 306 to 223. That's a pretty big victory. So we have to make a decision. Make America great again, or keep America great. Keep America great, or make America great again. What do I do? You ready? We'll go with MAGA first. You know, MAGA has been awfully good. The problem with getting rid of MAGA, we'll never get rid of it. It'll always be right here, and it'll be always a part. But the problem is, when you have the most successful campaign theme or logo or whatever you want to call it, and the word, you know, MAGA is a great sort of, it works, right? When you have that, to give it up for a new theme, I don't know if it makes sense, but keep America great. CAG. I don't know if I like that as much. CAG. But keep America great says it. We have made America great. We've made so much progress. And we sort of made America great. So to say, make America great again, I don't know if it works. So let me ask you for a poll. Can I ask you? We'll go MAGA first, then we'll go keep America great. All right? You ready? Make America great again. Keep America great. So once more, make America great again. Keep America great. I'll tell you, it's the same way. It slightly beats it out, right? All right, thank you very much. That's a free poll. You know, polls don't mean a damn thing. We proved that, didn't we prove that? Did anybody ever prove it like we proved it? They had me losing Texas. We won by a lot. They had me losing Utah. We won by a lot. They said Georgia. You know who's here tonight? George Stephanopoulos, the great George Stephanopoulos. Where are you, George? She's around here someplace, and he happens to be a nice guy. You said he left? I don't think so. Thank you, George. Thank you very much. You know, we have a lot of great people here, but we had a lot of phony polls. We call them suppression polls. You know what that is? That's suppression. Darling, he's not going to win, but let's go see a movie. We won't bother voting, and then we'll go home and we'll watch the results. Except the problem was nobody felt that, and they went out and they voted. Suppression polls didn't matter. It was an amazing. Was that one of the great nights in history, really? 2016. What do you think, Jeff? I think so, Jeff, right? I think that was one of the greats ever, one of the highest rated evenings in history. There were more people watching television all over the world that night. But I especially want to thank our terrific Republican leaders. We have a very, very strong powerful, brilliant governor with us tonight, Kim Reynolds, and she came through with an amazing victory. You know, all I heard is she was doing well. Stand up, Kim. I heard she was doing really well, but she had a guy with like unlimited money. He was spending like nobody's ever spent before. And I said, don't worry, she'll win. And we came in, we did a couple of rallies, and they worked out well. I said, she's going to win. But I didn't know she was going to win so easily. That was great. Great job, Kim. Thank you very much. She's a great governor. Thank you very much. We have your very highly respected, great person, your House Speaker, State House Speaker, Linda Upmeyer. Where's Linda? Linda Upmeyer. Thank you. Thank you, Linda. Thank you very much, Sean. Appreciate it. Great job. And we have your Majority Leader, Jack Whitver. Where's Jack? Jack Whitver. Thank you, Jack. Young guy. He's a young guy. Every elected Republican is indebted to the grassroots activists, volunteers, and county chairs who fight so hard, and they fight so hard in your state. I want to especially recognize Gary Nystrom, and do you know, where's Gary? There's Gary. Gary? Gary? Thank you, Gary. Thank you very much. Gary's from Boone County. Anybody ever hear of Boone County? Because I did. Spent a lot of time in Boone County. Gloria Mazza from Polk County. Gloria? These are the brightest lights. I don't see Gloria. Thank you, Gloria. Trudy Cavanis from Wapello County. Thank you. Great job. Fantastic. Janita, I love that name. Janita McNulty from Scott County. Thank you, Janita. Thank you. And finally, to all of our wonderful supporters, your drive and commitment are the heart and soul of this party, and this is a great party. We're doing fantastic things, so thank you all very much. And I want to thank you for something else. I do it and you do it. We have a tendency to want to do it, and they've wanted to do it for years, but they haven't. We put America first. We're putting America first again, folks. And this is truly an extraordinary time for our nation. America is thriving, optimism is booming, our people are prospering, and our country is winning again, winning again. We're winning like never before. We're doing great, and we're respected again. All over the world, they respect us again. They weren't so respectful for a long number of years, but they respect us again as a country. America's economy is now the envy of the world. Since the election, we've added 6 million jobs, including 500,000 manufacturing jobs. Remember, you would never be able, past administration, you can't. You'd need a magic wand. Well, we have 500,000 already added and a lot coming because we have a lot of companies moving in, and there are a lot of manufacturing jobs. So they said that couldn't be done, and we did it very easily, and we have a long way to go. Nearly 7 million Americans have been lifted off food stamps. We are getting Americans off of welfare and back into the workforce where they want to be. Unemployment is now at the lowest rate in over 51 years. Think of that. And we'll soon be breaking that record. And African American, Hispanic American, and Asian American unemployment have all reached the lowest rates ever recorded in the history of our country. That's pretty good. Wages are rising, and they're growing fastest, which makes me very happy. Listen to this one. Fastest proportionately for blue-collar workers. It's great. They're doing the best. And over the next 3 months, companies are expected to hire workers at the fastest pace in more than a decade, with the greatest gains for workers right here in the Midwest. Did you know that? You have the greatest gains any place in the country, the Midwest. And the last administration delivered low wages, economic stagnation, and rampant offshoring. Countries did not respect what we were all about. They took advantage of our country. They took our jobs. They took our businesses. They took everything. They're all coming back, and they're coming back very, very fast. And we've turned it all around, and jobs and wealth are now pouring back into our country. At the heart of our economic revival is the largest package of tax cuts and reforms in American history. We have the greatest tax cuts in American history. And not only that, but in the bill, as you know, we got rid of the individual mandate, the worst thing in Obamacare, where you paid a fortune for the privilege of not paying for horrible health care. Very unpopular. I got rid of it. I got rid of it. And we also got a thing called ANWR, possibly the biggest drilling site anywhere in the world in Alaska. One of the biggest drilling sites, but maybe the biggest anywhere in the world. They've been trying to get it since Ronald Reagan. They were not able to get it. We got it all approved. It's done, and they're starting work. So that's been a great achievement. Been a great achievement. We eliminated the unfair estate tax, also known as the death tax, on small farms and ranches and businesses so that they can keep them in the family. If you love your children, you can keep them in the family. If you don't love your children, what I just got you doesn't mean a damn thing. Don't bother. Only give it if you love them. If you don't love them, don't give them. Give it to charity instead. The hell with the kids. But isn't that a big thing? You know, so many people are losing. They love their kids, and they want to leave their farm, their ranch, their business. They want to leave it, and they want to leave it to their children. They couldn't do it because it would be left, and they'd have to go out and borrow a fortune to pay the taxes. So now you don't have those taxes anymore. So children, congratulations. Parents, they're not going to be around to worry about it too much anymore. So congratulations. And we've cut a record number of job-killing regulations. No administration has ever cut regulations like us, right? And the last administration waged a regulatory assault on the American farmers. You know that. I mean, that was an assault, an invasion. Those days are over, and those regulations are now gone. We've also ended the war on American energy. The United States is now the #1 producer of oil and natural gas anywhere in the world by far. And last year, we exported a record amount of ethanol. Does everybody like ethanol in this room? They're doing a fantastic job in Iowa, Nebraska, and other places with ethanol. We're undoing decades of calamitous trade policies and reversing 8 painful years of economic surrender. We have surrendered. We're not surrendering anymore. You probably read the papers, although much of it's fake news, but that's okay. You get the gist of it, right? There's no surrender. There's no surrender. No, we just did a wonderful deal on the border with Mexico, and it's going to be a big difference, and we're doing a job with China. And watch what happens with China. Watch what happens. You know, we just opened up Japan for cattle and different things. You know, Japan, the market was totally closed. We just opened. I just left Prime Minister Abe. And we have many other countries that are opening up. Canada, if you look at Canada, they were charging 285% for agricultural products, tariffs of 285%. Nobody knew that. We knew that. And essentially, that's a barrier. We knocked it down. Again, we've got the USMCA. It's going to be fantastic. We've got to get it approved. So you got to call those Democrats and say, let's go. We want to vote because it's going to be phenomenal for your state, and it's going to be phenomenal for the farmers and for the manufacturers and, frankly, for the unions. It's great for everybody. The economic policies of the previous administration enriched foreign nations at the expense of our nation. And not only the previous administration, many administrations before them. They allowed foreign nations to plunder our country, to steal our jobs, to take our wealth. It's all coming back, folks. You notice? It's all coming back. We're ending the rampant theft of American jobs, knocking down barriers to American farmers, and opening brand new markets for American agriculture. But despite our amazing success, the Democrat Party has never been angrier. They're so angry. Did you ever see people so angry? For what? For what? These are angry people. Every day, the Democrat Party is becoming more and more unhinged and more extreme. They're going crazy. Do you love it? I sort of love it, right? They can't see straight every day, every single day. You know, they waited for the Mueller report. They were waiting. That was their guy. He had 18 angry Democrats, all Democrats. Many of them contributed to crooked Hillary. And these were the people that were looking at me, did nothing, no collusion. The result comes out, no collusion, leading to no obstruction, no nothing. So now they say, can we have a do-over? No, we don't want to give them a do-over. They're playing games. More than 100 Democrats in Congress have signed up for the Bernie Sanders government takeover of health care, which would eliminate the private health insurance that many of the people in this room have. But we have 180 million Americans having great private health care, and that's what they want, and that would all be taken away. Democrats also support the $100 trillion Green New Deal. How about that beauty? The Green New Deal. Conceived and made up by a young woman who is, well, let's see how she works out. Which would totally destroy the American economy. Other than that, it's not bad. They think they can do it for $100 trillion. You know, according to it, if you really go by that rule, every single building in New York would have to be ripped down and rebuilt as a different building. And they have buildings in New York, you wouldn't have windows. The building would be quite good, except you wouldn't have windows. Would anybody like that, a building without windows? I think that would be very pretty, wouldn't it? The Green New Deal, that's a real beauty. But I don't want to talk them out of it. I don't want to go too strong tonight, so I won't. We won't talk about it anymore, because I want them to do it. I want to run against it so badly. You know, like they flip on these policies so quickly. No, it's true. It's true. They flip on these policies so quickly. I don't want to, you know, and then everybody forgets. They go from one thing for a lifetime, and then they flip, and they go to something totally different, the opposite, and everybody forgets in 2 or 3 days, and they're stuck to a new thing. Then they usually flip back, you know. Depends on which race they're running in. But the Democrat Party is really now the Socialist Party. The Democrats have never been more out of touch with the mainstream. They're totally out of touch. They want open borders, which brings crime, drugs, human trafficking. Virtually every top Democrat in the country now supports taxpayer-funded abortion right up until birth. And how about in Virginia, where we're not talking about up until birth, but the governor of Virginia said after birth, the baby is born, and you gently wrap the baby. And then you talk to the mother and maybe the father and determine whether or not you're going to execute the baby. This baby is born, and this is what they want. Republicans believe that every life is a sacred gift from God. Thank you. Thank you. You better get out and vote. That's all I can tell you in so many different ways. That, your businesses will be taken away. Your taxes are going to be quadrupled. You better get out and vote. It's a very serious thing that's happening to our country. We've never done better. And it's really easy as a socialist to say, when you're doing well, let's do this, we're going to take this, we're going to give you free this, and that. Nothing's free. You're paying for it. Other people are paying for it. There's nothing free. They'll destroy this country. We'll be another Venezuela. You see what's going on. That country was really wealthy 15 years ago. They've destroyed that country. And I look at it every day. We're studying Venezuela. What happened to that country is beyond belief. Truly a wealthy country. They don't have water. They don't have food. They don't have hospitals. It's incredible. Don't let it happen to us. And that's why I've asked Congress in one case, and it's so important, to prohibit all sorts of things that we just can't have. But we want to prohibit extreme late-term abortion. We have to do it. And even a lot of Democrats agree with us on that. A lot of people agree with us on that. That's why I oppose any effort to use taxpayer hard-earned dollars to subsidize the abortion industry. And nowhere has the Democrat Party become more dangerous or more radical than on border security. Can you believe what's going on with them? And they know it's wrong. Look, they're doing this. They think it's good politically. I think it's terrible politically. I think they're hurting themselves politically. Right now, Mexico is doing more for border security than the Democrats. You believe this? Do you believe this? So, you know, it's one of those things. But you probably have noticed over the last 3 days what happened with respect to the border in Mexico. And I want to thank Mexico. But frankly, you know, the tariffs were very important, very, very important. But they stepped up. After many years, they stepped up to the plate. Their president is a great gentleman. We had a great talk over the last couple of days and met with their people. And we have things that we never thought possible. We got things that we never thought possible. And it's going to be a big difference. And we're building a wall that's started a while ago. And by next year, at the end of the year, we're going to have close to 500 miles of wall. Now, we're being sued by everybody, but did you see that we won a lawsuit last week? We won a big lawsuit on the wall. We won a lawsuit on the wall, Kim. How about that, right? Boy, I celebrated all night for about 10 minutes, and then I went back to work. But this really is a defining issue of 2020. When it comes to immigration, Democrats no longer represent American citizens. Where are they coming from? A vote for Democrats is a vote for totally open borders. It all equals a massive cost. It equals massive crime. It equals things that nobody can believe. You take a look at what's happening. The problems with disease coming into our country. People say, oh, don't say that. That's not nice. It happens to be true. But the disease and the problems coming in, and it's a very sad situation. Now, California wants to take care of everybody. They're going to end up quadrupling in size in 2 months if they don't be careful. I mean, it's crazy what's happening. What's happening, folks, is crazy. And we're going to bring it back, and we've already brought it back to rationality. But when you look at sanctuary cities and you look at the tremendous problems, they want to get rid of ICE. They want ICE out. ICE is the one that goes in. They go in, and they'll attack some of the worst criminals in the world, like MS-13. They chop people up. They cut people down. They like knives because they're more painful than a bullet. What they've done to young women, what they've done to men, what they've done to everybody. And what we've done is we send ICE in. And to them, it's just another day in the office because they're tougher, they're stronger, they're patriots, but they're mentally great. And they're going against some real deviants. And they're taking them out of the country. They're bringing them out by the thousands, and they're getting them out. And the Democrats want to get rid of ICE. Can you believe that? Can you believe that? So we're not going to have it, and Iowa's not going to have it, and we're not going to fall for that. But ICE, I want to say ICE and the Border Patrol. You know, Border Patrols has apprehended over the last 3 months numbers that are the biggest in 15, 16, 17 years. They're apprehending hundreds of thousands of people a month. But now that should start slowing up very substantially because Mexico is sending 6,000 troops to the border. Nobody thought that would happen. But it's a great thing that it's happening because we have a country that we have to run. We have a country that we have to run. A vote for Republicans is a vote for safe families, safe communities, and strong, strong borders. And we want people to come into our country. But they have to come in legally, and they have to come in through merit. We want people that can help us. They have to come in through merit. So we're going to probably get that at some point. I don't think it's going to be that far into the future. We believe our country should be a sanctuary for law-abiding Americans, not criminal aliens. So we're joined and honored tonight to be with a very special woman, an angel mom. I love angel moms. These are great people. Their lives have been so horribly hurt. But Michelle Root is a special woman whose precious, beautiful daughter, Sarah Root, was killed by an illegal alien one day after graduating from college with a 4.0 GPA. That's the highest marks you can get, for those of you that don't understand that. That was the highest, no, but that was the highest marks. She was a #1 student in her class. Please come up. Please come up. Please come up. Thank you, Michelle. Hi, sweetheart. A great woman. Thank you.
And an even greater man. This man gave us a voice, angel families a voice. No other president would hear our stories. I was fortunate, if you want to say fortunate, enough to have him in the running to become our president. A lot of other angel families did not have that voice until he came along. We've always had that voice for Sarah. She was killed January 31st, 2016, within a day of graduating with a bachelor's, as the president has said, 4.0 in criminal investigations. Her killer was 16 years old when he came across the border unaccompanied, illegally. He killed my daughter at age 19. He had a blood alcohol of 0.241, street racing, hit the back of my daughter's SUV that was stopped at a stoplight, going 70+ miles an hour. My daughter didn't have a chance. I do not, and the reason I speak out, I don't get Sarah back at the end of the day. I speak out because I don't want this happening to any of you. Our wonderful president stands by us and does everything in his power to help us because he doesn't want to see another family have to go through what we've gone through. And I thank him for that, and I'm proud of him for standing as strong as he has against the opposition he has to face daily. I am so proud of you, and so is my family and my son.
Thank you, Ben. So beautiful. She's looking down, you know, right? Yes, great woman. Your beautiful girl is looking down right now at you, and she's saying, I'm proud of my mom. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. I've gotten to know a lot of angel moms and dads and families, and what they've gone through is incredible. It's for no reason whatsoever. So we promise to always remember Sarah and to fight in her memory to protect America's children. And I want to thank you very much for being here. Been my friend for a long time. A lot of friends, a lot of friends. Thank you, darling. The angel moms, they're incredible people. What they have to go through, I cannot even imagine. Illegal immigration not only threatens public safety, but it drains the public treasury, overcrowding schools and hospitals and depleting the resources low-income Americans depend on. You see what's happening in California, where they just announced a plan to give free health care to illegal immigrants, when it should very well be used, all of that money, to provide housing and hospitalization and medical for the rising number of homeless people in the Democratic-run cities of Los Angeles and San Francisco. Do you see what's happening to those cities? Can you even believe it? What's going on there? People are getting sick just by walking down the street. They're getting actually sick, including police officers who are incredible. The job our law enforcement does is incredible. Democrats put the needs of illegal aliens before the needs of Americans. Republicans believe we must always take care of our own citizens first. We have to do that. We have that obligation. My administration just proposed a rule to ensure our limited supply of public housing is used for those who follow our laws, not those who break them. We don't have any provisions that say the wrong people can't live in this very expensive housing that our government builds. And yes, we will finish the wall. It's happening. It's going up quickly, as I said. And we're very proud of what we're doing. We're doing a lot more than we would have ever thought. We're being fought at every corner. No matter where we go, it's a lawsuit, it's another lawsuit, it's another lawsuit. The incredible thing is that almost every Democrat, just a few years ago, wanted a wall. It didn't get built because they didn't know how to build it, but they wanted a wall. And they gave it up in one case. They had the wall set, and then they gave it back a year later or 2 years later. But they wanted a wall. And without that, it's just a very tough situation, although now I actually think we have something that's going to help very greatly. Every day, it's promises made and promises kept. That's a very big obligation that I have. Very big obligation. Thanks to our bold initiative to bring down the price of prescription drugs, last year drug prices went down for the first time in 52 years. We passed, in the VA, we passed VA Choice, the veterans. You know what was happening. They'd get online and they'd wait for 7 days. Think of yourselves. You're all spoiled people. If you had to wait for 2 hours, you'd be angry at the doctor, right? They wait for 7 days. They'd wait for 12 days. They'd wait for 2 months. They'd be online forever. And sometimes they'd be up there with a very small problem and they'd end up being terminally ill by the time they got to a doctor. And we passed choice so that they have a choice. If they have a wait, they go outside, they go to a local doctor, we pay for the doctor, and our veterans taken care of. And you know what? The crazy thing is we save a lot of money by doing that, if you can believe that. But we save a lot of money, and everybody's happy about it. And for 44 years, they've been trying to get it passed, and they haven't been able, and I got it passed. My administration, and I'm very proud of everybody that worked on it. And then we passed also another one that was 45 years, VA accountability. VA accountability. Where people that worked at the VA could be sadistic. They could do horrible things to our vets, which they wouldn't have done in prime time because they wouldn't have lasted for 5 seconds. But they were sadistic, they were thieves, they were robbing people, they were hurting people, our vets, and you couldn't fire them. And we had passed through the Republican Senate, and we got it done. We got it all done, VA accountability. So we got VA choice, VA accountability. We can now look at whoever it may be and just say, you're fired, get out of here. You're fired, get out. Get out. That's a big thing. They were having people that would steal. They had one case where somebody stole $500,000. They knew they were guilty, and you couldn't fire them. They could prosecute them, but they couldn't fire them. Think of it. It's like impossible to believe. And that had to do, frankly, with unions, and it had to do with civil service. And it's not as easy as I say. But look, 45 years they've been trying to change it. We changed that one. And 44 years for choice, we changed that one. So we've done a great job for the veterans, and we're doing a fantastic job in taking care of our veterans. I think really for the first time in many, many years. We're very proud of that. Thank you. And we've confirmed more than 107 federal judges right now as we speak, and we should be up very quickly to 145. And that includes 2 outstanding Supreme Court justices, Neil Gorsuch and Brett Kavanaugh. Big thing. Big thing. We'll have 145, think of it, federal judges in a very short period of time. And we're getting them approved very quickly. We're up to 107. Nobody would have believed that's possible. I signed an order to protect free speech on college campuses. You see what's happening. And we're sending a very clear message to big tech. Do not censor the American people, because they are censoring certain groups of people. That's not right. It's not right. And at our urging, we're finally seeing more attention paid to the need for better forest management. I mentioned that term when I was in California. At the worst forest fires anyone's ever seen, a tremendous number of people killed. One particular area so great, the people so great. It was like a blowtorch, 84-mile-an-hour winds, and this was the steel. For the few houses that had steel structure, it was melted. It was melted. You never found the people. It was total incineration. And I said, you need forest management. And they didn't know what I was talking about. They smiled, they laughed. Turned out I was right. Because they'd have 15 and 20 years of debris piled up on the floor of the forest. And it was so dry, like a bone, it was so dry. And if you touch it with even a cigarette, it lights 100,000, 200,000 acres. And now they agree with me, and they're cleaning up the forests. And maybe you'll see it less. They haven't done enough work yet, but you'll see that it makes a tremendous difference. I've had people come to me from other countries and say, sir, you're right about the forest. We live in a forest nation. We are a forest nation. It's very interesting, like certain places, Finland, Austria, others. They're in a forest nation. They say, we take care of our forest. We do what you have to do. You have to get rid of those trees when they fall, because within 18 months, they're literally like a match. And we weren't doing that. In fact, environmentally, we're being stopped. The environmentalists didn't want us to touch those trees. They thought it was wonderful. Let them lay on the ground. You can't do that. And now they're doing a lot of work on that whole subject of forest management. I think you're going to see a very big difference in the not-too-distant future. As we restore American strength at home, we're also restoring American power abroad. The 8-year apology tour is over. We don't apologize. We don't apologize for America. We stand up for America. We now stand up for our country. We have a great country. We have a great, great country, and we stand up for it. And in the stark change from the past, we're pursuing our interests without getting our nation bogged down in endless, costly foreign entanglements. Now, that may change. There's some bad things going on out there that should have been stopped long before this administration, and maybe long before the previous administration. When you look at North Korea, when you look at Iran, when you look at so many other places. But I do believe we've got it under control. I do believe we have it under control. It should have been done a long time ago. So many different things could have been done so much easier if it was a long time ago. But they never got it done. They never did it. They should have done it, but we'll take care of it for you. And thanks to the skill and tremendous courage of our brave warriors and their allies, the ISIS caliphate has now been completely decimated in Syria. We've done that. And you have to understand there could be, these are crazy people. These are really crazy, crazy, sick people. So when I say it's done, nothing, it's never done. We've taken back all of the land, 100% of the land. When I took over, it was shown in red, and it was a sea of red. And every month it was less and less and less. And then, as you saw 2 months ago, we completed that. But that doesn't mean they don't walk into a store with a bomb and blow up a store, because these people are stone cold crazy. Not good, not good, not good at all. I withdrew the United States from the disastrous Iran nuclear deal, and what a difference that made. The previous administration gave $150 billion to Iran, and they gave $1.8 billion in cash. Think of that, $1.8 billion in cash, flown over in airplanes, massive amounts of cash. Nobody's ever seen $1.8 billion in cash. They didn't even have enough American money in our tri-state area next to Washington. With all, it's how big it is. They didn't have the money, so they had to get money from other countries to bring it in cash. We gave them $1.8 billion in cash. You know what we got? Nothing. We got nothing. We got a bad deal. That's what we got. But we ended the deal. And when they signed that deal, they were screaming death to America. Do you remember? Death to America. How do you sign a deal when they're screaming death to America? They don't talk that way anymore. They're not talking that way anymore. They better not be talking that way. And after decades of broken promises, we opened the American embassy in Jerusalem. Many, many presidents had promised, we will open the American embassy, and they campaigned, and they never did it. But I did it. And then, on top of that, just 3 weeks ago, the United States acknowledged Israel's sovereignty over the Golan Heights. It's a big thing. Big, big thing. And that's been going on for 52 years. And many American presidents said, we will do that. They never did it. They never did it. And I did it, and it was just fine. It's a great thing for Israel. It's actually a great thing for a lot of different people. But you need the Golan Heights for security, for proper security. And we got it done. The overwhelming majority of Americans support the Republican agenda of great jobs, safe neighborhoods, affordable health care, low taxes, and secure borders. Very simple. Very simple. And the vast majority of the people, not only in this room, but all over this country, oppose the Democrat platform of mass migration, high taxes, high crime, late-term abortion, and later than late-term abortion, hoaxes and delusions. The Republican Party is the party of the American family, the American worker, the American farmer, and the American dream. We believe in the Constitution and the rule of law. We believe in the dignity of work and the sanctity of life. We believe that faith and family, not government and bureaucracy, are the true American way. We believe that children should be taught to love our country, honor our history, and always respect dearly our great American flag. And we believe that all Americans share one magnificent destiny as one team, one people, and one glorious nation under God. We fight on behalf of hardworking citizens who pour out their heart and soul and sweat every day to earn a living and take care of their families. They pay their taxes, follow our laws, raise their children, and safeguard the values that have made America the greatest nation ever to exist on the face of the earth. And our country right now is doing so much better in almost all ways than it's ever done before. You look at our economy, you look at our military, you can look at so many different things. We're doing better than ever before. And it's largely because of people like you. You work hard, you work smart, you work honestly, and we just appreciate it very much, very, very much. Thank you. This land is your home. These American patriots have always been loyal to our country, and now they're finally having a president who is loyal to them. It's about time, isn't it? And every day for the next 16 months, we will keep on fighting, we will keep on working, and we will keep on winning. We're going to win for you. We're going to win again in 2020. Going to win for you. Keep America great. And in 2020, Iowa will once again be at the center of the action. Remember I said we're going to keep Iowa first. Remember that? Jeff, do you remember that? It was a big move to move Iowa to the back of the line or the center of the line, right? We worked very hard. I said, I win. We're keeping it, and we're keeping it right where it is. It's also a great tradition. I mean, wouldn't it look terrible if I was the 32nd nation in the voting line, I don't think it would look too good, right? And Jeff, you worked really hard on that, and I appreciate it. Thank you. And right here in the Hawkeye State, the backyards and living rooms and town halls and fairgrounds and diners and coffee shops all across the state, you'll be the ones to shape America's future. You have a very important state politically. It's a very important state. What happens here oftentimes determines what happens for our country in terms of the most important, most powerful position in the world. You will be the ones to make American history, and you will be, once again, the ones to, in a sense, truly lead our country to victory. So I want to thank all of the people from Iowa. You have been very special to me. It's been a very important place. I got to know it very well. I know the people. I love the people. You're incredible people. You're hardworking people, successful. And one thing I can tell you about people from Iowa, you never, ever give up. You never, ever quit. That's for sure. So I want to thank Iowa for being so good to me, and I'll say goodnight. God bless you, and God bless America. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.